Good evening, everyone, and happy beginning of a hot summer. The weather's absolutely sweltering. Welcome to the Square Circle. Shall I say? I can't even speak today. Wrestling podcast. I am your host today, Stefan Bennett. Andy is not with us; he's on work commitments. But I'm not alone. I've managed to secure a very good replacement for Andy this evening. One of my fellow guys from UKPW, who's going to talk a little bit about himself and his career at the moment, is Ryan Ford. Welcome.
Hello there. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on. We're just going to start again, as everyone knows, the sad passing of the Iron Sheik this past week. We're going to go a little bit into it with our top five. An absolute legend. Always seems to be, often or not, Andy and I always starting our show with some sad news. There's been a passing of a legend, and that's no different this week, unfortunately. So our thoughts go out to the friends and family of the Iron Sheik. So, right, welcome. So for those who are not familiar with you, I know some will be on the Brit Wrestling. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, your gimmicks, where we usually get to see you. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so normally you see me wrestle as Handsome Jack Callahan. I'm one half of British Wrestling's own HR department, along with my tag partner Razor. And lately we've been sort of circling around and branching out. We've been doing a lot of work in Essex, Kent, as you know, with UKPW. We'll also be doing some work with Dropkicks, Lockhorns, and those guys. And we're working our way slowly up and doing some work with United up in Oxford as well. Just trying to branch ourselves out.
Yeah, I mean, UKPW, obviously, I know people can see you this Saturday. Is that correct? That's in Rochester in the Midway Towns in Kent. There's an outdoor show going on there. I'll be there as well. You'll be in tag team action, I understand.
Absolutely, yep. So it'll be me and Razor and a fine gentleman you'll know who will be out there with us. And I won't say who we're up against, but what I will say is that it's going to be light versus dark. It's going to be a match with a heavy dichotomy between the two teams.
Well, if the darkness you're referring to and the gentleman you're referring to, that's going to be in your presence and everything, things aren't just going to be dark, they'll be very dark indeed.
Absolutely.
So, yes, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we've got our top five coming up as well. Just remember that you can catch us on all of our socials. They will be linked here below. Forget the names at the moment, but if you want to check everything out, you're not Samuel Mellows, but we'll put it out there. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch at TSC Wrestling Podcast. And on Twitter, if you like to tweet away, you can follow us at TSC Wrestling Pod. So we're going to take a bit break, and we're going to come back, and it's going to be our top five news. Yeah, as we mentioned earlier on, the sad news come out this week that WWE Hall of Famer and professional wrestling legend, the Iron Sheik, sadly passed away this week. The Iron Sheik, as we know, an absolute legend, dying of the age of 81. And according to a statement posted on his Twitter account on Wednesday, in the statement, the Iron Sheik was called a cultural phenomenon and a pop culture icon who transcended the world of professional wrestling. The Iron Sheik starred in WWE throughout the 1980s to the early 1990s, holding the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Tag Team Championships one time each before getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005. He was born in Iran in 1942 as Hossein Khosrow Ali Vaziri. Iron Sheik trained as an amateur wrestler and attempted to qualify for the 1968 Olympics before moving to the United States and serving as an assistant coach for the United States wrestling team at the 1972 Olympics. Sheik broke into the world of professional wrestling in 1972 at the Minnesota-based AWA, and he received his first opportunity with WWE in 1979. In 1983, Sheik joined WWE on a full-time basis and beat Bob Backlund for the WWE Championship on December 26, 1983 at Madison Square Garden in New York City, which ended Backlund's reign of 2,135 days, which is the second longest reign in the history of the WWE Championship. Just 28 days later, Sheik dropped the WWE Championship to Hulk Hogan, marking the beginning of Hulkamania and one of the most successful eras in WWE history. While Sheik would never win another singles title in WWE, he was involved in the first title change in WrestleMania history, as he and Nikolai Volkov beat Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo of the US Express for the WWE Tag Team Championships at the inaugural WrestleMania in 1985. After departing WWE near the end of the decade, Sheik returned in 1991 under the name Colonel Mustafa, forming an alliance with General Adnan and Sergeant Slaughter, who had recently turned heel due to his storyline sympathy for Iraq during the Gulf War. Slaughter held the WWE Championship during that time before dropping it to Hogan at WrestleMania 7. A few months later, at SummerSlam 91, Sheik teamed with Sergeant Slaughter and Adnan in a losing effort against Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior in the main event. Iron Sheik left WWE again in 1992, and his in-ring career began to wind down considerably. However, in what would prove to be one of his final matches, he won the Gimmick Battle Royal at WrestleMania 17 in 2001. In more recent years, Sheik became known for his social media presence, as his Twitter account garnered over 600,000 followers. Sheik's account became an internet sensation due to his unique musings, profane language, and disdain for Hulk Hogan, the man who beat him for the WWE Championship. I have to go through this. I used to have on my back when I used to have an iPhone, I actually had a nap, which was an Iron Sheik alarm clock. I kid you not. For anyone who might remember that, the Iron Sheik alarm clock, it was legendary at the time, and it was random. So when it would go off in the mornings, you would be woken up to Iron Sheik giving you the most profane wake up call there was, and it'd be something like "Get up, you wake up, you jabroni," and it, like, you know, all this swearing. It was the greatest thing ever. Absolutely loved it. Hulk Hogan, who we mentioned in that, commented on the passing of Iron Sheik, of all people. He posted on his Instagram in remembrance of his former rival, saying, "Today we honour the legacy of a wrestling icon. Rest in peace, Iron Sheik. The wrestling world has lost a true legend, and Sheik's contributions to our industry will never be forgotten. I'll always cherish the battles we had in the ring. Our matches were intense, and our rivalry was legendary. We shared a bond that only fellow wrestlers can understand. Iron Sheik's unique charisma, undeniable talent, and unforgettable personality made him an unforgettable figure in the hearts of wrestling fans worldwide. His legacy will continue to inspire generations of wrestlers to come. Rest in peace, Iron Sheik. You will always be remembered as a true warrior of the ring." And he didn't say it, but there should have been a brother at the end of that. Of all people to come out and say it, and I can imagine now, once he had put that out there, Iron Sheik up there straight away just turned around and, you know, didn't take pleasantries to that.
Absolutely not.
I mean, that's the thing, wasn't it? It was always slating Hogan on social media, the Iron Sheik. That was about probably 80% of, I think, of his social media activity was slating Hulk Hogan.
I still go and you see. I think it's the Howard Stern show in America, where he was a guest on there at times, and he would just go off, and it was the most entertaining. Like, even into his older age, past the rivalry, it was just, I don't know. Maybe bygones could have been bygones, but I love that they weren't.
I mean, if it was just to keep the whole kayfabe thing going until his passing, fair play to Sheik, because it was, you just didn't know if he genuinely really disliked Hogan still or not. Whether it was just, I mean, just the simple thing I remember seeing on Thanksgiving Day over in the States, he put on social media. It was just "Happy Thanksgiving to all my fans out there," and one more thing. F yourself, Hulk Hogan. go F yourself, Hulk Hogan. And things like, he would just always throw a jab at Hogan in the most random of tweets and stuff on social media. I'm going to miss seeing all of that, because it was just so funny.
Bring back the alarm clock.
Oh, yes. In his memory, bring back that alarm clock. We need to have that. We need to have that. Anyway, moving on. New Japan. New Japan's Tetsuya Naito has participated in 14 consecutive G1 Climax tournaments. He is in the D block for G1 Climax 2023, with July 16th being his first tournament match against Jeff Cobb. While doing a recent interview, Naito noted he's not a fan of the changes New Japan have made to the tournament this year, as it will feature 32 participants, up from last year's tournament, which had 28. The bouts have also been decreased from 30 minutes down to 20 minutes. Naito said, "I don't want to deny everything. It may be good in the sense of giving various players a chance. But the image of the G1 Climax, in my mind, is the strongest Warrior Championship that only selected players can participate in. Other sports talk about shortening game time, and in baseball, pitch clocks are introduced. So you don't want to change a two out change because you want to shorten it. It may be fresh and it may be interesting because the game time is short. But if the fundamental rules are changed without any explanation, there is a danger that the original fun of G1 will be lost." I mean, he makes a very good point. It goes back to that old saying: if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think quality over quantity. And don't get me wrong, as time goes on, there's so many incredible talents that come out from all over
Yeah.
all over the world, not just Japan, but all over. And it's great that they get a chance to participate, of course. But no, I think I'm going to have to side with them on this one.
Absolutely. For me, I thought it was always as great as it was. So I see his point. Moving on, we've had more updates regarding AEW's Fight Forever. Or as what I was calling it initially, AEW Fight Somewhere in the Future. We're not sure when.
Yeah,
As what it should have been. But yeah, we've we've had the update saying that the game is obviously scheduled to be released on Thursday, June 29th on PlayStation 4 and 5, on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and Series S, Nintendo Switch, as well as on Windows. And it is also going to be compatible with the Steam Deck. A new report from Fightful Select notes that people who have played advanced copies of the game say they believe it will be a success based on the playability and the multiplayer aspect. A hot topic of discussion, both positive and negative, on social media is the non-wrestling mini-games seen in Fight Forever. Word is that AEW Executive Vice President Kenny Omega wanted the mini-games put in Fight Forever. Omega also insisted on bringing in legendary video game developer Hideyuki Geta Iwashita, who was director of the popular WWE No Mercy game. What a game that was. Released in 2000 for the Nintendo 64 console. Geta also worked on WCW vs NWO Revenge, another cracker, WrestleMania 2000, and Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, among others. One internal criticism has to do with the limited creation suite, which was described as just simply isn't expansive. There were also concerns over the repetitive clothing involved in other story mode characters. The developers reportedly faced some limitation in creating the story mode, but they did take input from the actual wrestlers involved. There were many people involved in the creative aspects of the game, and some wrapped up more than 1 year before release. The Fight Forever developers included a funny rib in the exploding barbed wire deathmatch. Word is that there are two options for the finish: a stunning, brutal explosion or a dud firework display like the infamous pyro finish we saw at AEW Revolution 2021 when Omega defeated Jon Moxley. It was previously reported that the original plan was for Fight Forever to be a one-off release with constant updates and DLC as opposed to a repeat release. However, word is that AEW retains the rights to the game engine, and in the event they change their minds in the future and want to release another game. I mean, that is just genius to add just for the fun aspect of making light of a botch ending of an actual match, to do it that way.
I think that's fantastic. No, I don't want to go too off topic. I'm a massive gamer, so I've got plenty of opinions on Fight Forever. I was very hit and miss. I really like the fact that it did make me feel like I was playing an old N64, PlayStation 2 video game, but at the same time, I think the industry as a whole, video game industry, they're so focused on making everything realistic. Fight Forever is clearly an arcadey title. It's clearly there for the fun. It makes me think of what was it, Legends of Wrestling, That was a bit over the top. So I think in its own merit, it could be fun. I don't know how far it's going to go, especially with 2K being a bit hit and miss in the last couple of years, but more realistic. But the blood on that canvas, they are not holding back. It's like was it backyard wrestling on the PlayStation 2?
Yeah, it'd be like a Flair Moxley match, wouldn't it? Really, just
Absolutely.
nothing but blood, all over the place. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens there. In other news here as well, WWE saying that they have plans for Rhea Ripley to potentially wrestle intergender matches soon. Would probably make sense. In a recent report from Better Wrestling Experience, they noted that there is some truth to rumours on Ripley working matches against male WWE superstars, and this has always been part of the plan for her big ongoing push. It remains to be seen if Ripley will work just one big premium live event match against a male superstar, or if she will begin to work various male opponents in multiple intergender bouts. Ripley has had confrontations with several top superstars in recent months, including Cody Rhodes and the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champion Kevin Owens. It was also said that Ripley's WWE Money in the Bank opponent or opponents will be revealed very soon, confirming that she will have a match on the card. So yeah, that's that I think something we always expected. As I think it's what I called recently on this podcast, what I called China syndrome. It's that they've made her a women's champion, and it's kind of like who can realistically really beat her for the title. And again, she's good enough and bad enough to mix it up with the men.
Ripley versus Reigns. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, though, as much as I think Roman would win the match, I think she'd still give as good as she could get.
I think everything she does is it's impactful. It's brutal. You know, she's doing amazing work with Dom, Dom, and Dom Dom, and you know, I think if anybody there, she's definitely pushed towards that. I don't want to say like butchness, but she's definitely pushed towards that stronger female role. I think if there's anybody on the roster that you could start putting into intergender, which is very much the way things are going, both in professional like TV and independent wrestling, I think she's great option for it.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Definitely. Frankie Kazarian has said that AEW does not present pro wrestling the way he likes it. Kazarian was on an AEW original, but he left the company this past January and returned to Impact Wrestling under a multi-year contract. Kazarian just appeared on the Kurt Angle show and talked about leaving AEW while still under contract. He recorded the early talks with former Executive Vice Presidents Cody Rhodes and current Executive Vice Presidents The Young Bucks, Adam Page, Scorpio Sky, and Kaz's long-time tag partner, current head of talent relations, Christopher Daniels. Not that many people were involved in. He said, he went on to say, I still had 2 years left on my contract when I left. I made the decision to leave. I still had 2 years left. I probably could have been there much longer. I re-signed at the end of 2021, and in hindsight, being what it is, I probably shouldn't have. But again, AEW, I was there since before day one. I was there when this was a gem of an idea, and I was there discussing this company when they didn't even have initials attached to it. In these rooms with Cody and the Bucks and Page and Sky and CD. So again, I was committed. I want to try to ride this thing out. He continued to comment on the AEW product and business model. He felt like he had much more to offer than the role they had him in. He went on to add, it just became apparent to me that what I like and what I appreciate about pro wrestling and the way I like it presented was not happening in AEW. And that's not an indictment at them. It's just what they perceive is as good television wrestling, and what I do are different things. And just the business model, everything. Again, it was one of those things. I feel like I have so much more to offer than what I was being utilised for at AEW. So I bet on myself and I made the decision to walk away, and I'm very thankful I did. It's by far the best decision I could have made. Kazarian defeated Eddie Edwards at Impact against all odds this past Friday night. Again, we're going to be speaking later on here. You'll hear from Andy in a pre-recorded session where in the event centre, where he would be discussing what went down at Impacts against all odds this past Friday. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase said, talked to a wide range of topics on his Everybody's Got a podcast. During that, he went on to talk about what he doesn't like about modern day WWE and its scripted promos, something which many people have criticised. $1 Million Man went on to say, they do these scripted interviews nowadays, and I can't stand it. I said, look, I'm going to look this over. I'm going to say what the message is here, but it's not going to be word for word what you've written. It's got to be me. The more me it is, the more real it is to the people. And I think that's a fair comment, because a lot of these scripted promos and interviews, you can really come across that they're not genuine.
Oh, absolutely. You can see straight through the facade. What I think it heads back towards a safety barrier. A lot of the time when you've got these scripted segments, it's safety. You know, how many times they're recorded, how many times they're practiced, etc. I think going on to the Frankie Kazarian bit as well, where he says along the lines, I think you said, it's not like TV wrestling how he likes TV wrestling, something to that effect. He was with Impact for so long, and he's gone back to Impact as well. I feel like I could be wrong, but it feels a lot like a safety move. You know, he's been safe in a company for so long. He's branched out. I doesn't like it. He goes back where he feels safe again. That's just how it seems.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, because when you've spent your entire career with the way things went, especially at the height of its popularity, when we talk about, for example, the WWE, back when it's WWF days, when the $1 Million Man was there and Hulkamania was running wild and it was really going to the pinnacle. And then you see how it is these days, especially from the Attitude Era, when we know that guys like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, what helped make them the stars they were was because there was the authenticity that they did a lot of their own work, like when it was the promos, and they had a lot of input, and they did a lot of stuff which was what came natural to them, and that's why they worked. And I think that's one of the reasons why we don't see many superstars, like huge top superstars, being created in the modern wrestling era, because there's too much script, too much is scripted. The leash is on so much talent, where it's a case of like, if you want to look good and you want to be the best you can, I need to have a certain amount of trust in you to be able to go and deliver that. And in return, I'm going to reap the rewards, because you're going to be selling tickets, you're going to be putting bums in seats, you're going to be the one that's going to be contributing to pay-per-view buys and people tuning in to high ratings. So, okay, I'll give you a shot to show and prove to me that you can go ahead and make yourself a star, and we'll give you the tools to do so. We're not going to tell you what you've got to do. You should know, and then give it a try. But no one seems to want to take that risk.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, if you think about it from days of old, I mean, Austin 316 says, "I just whooped your ass," was completely on the fly, and look, that made a brand. That wasn't a brand making a person. Austin, on a complete ad lib, or so he says, and I believe him. He created that from having that freedom. When you look at people now, if it was it The Rock and John Cena, where John Cena called The Rock out for having notes on his wrist? Well, it says a lot. I mean, one of my favorite promos of all time, and I watch it back frequently, weekly, study it, is, if you remember, William Regal had a promo against Triple H with the Eugene angle, and he goes out and he just, I mean, William Regal is an absolute incredible talent. When he starts going, when he starts talking, you really see how incredible he is. And I urge anybody to I think it's literally greatest promo ever on YouTube. And that is someone that's just gone out there and said what they wanted to say. I even feel like CM Punk's pipe bomb, "Say what you want to say," was still very much held back. But if a bit more freedom, a little bit more character, or a little bit more personal, that creates drama. That creates story. Story comes from them, not the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing as well. I think
it's not organic.
A wrestler, I think, can deliver their best work when they're allowed to get on and do it, because if they believe in themselves and they believe in what they're doing, you're going to get the best out of them.
Absolutely.
Regardless.
Look at the Miz's shoot interviews. whether they want them to say they're shoot or not, they definitely are. Enzo Amore and Brian Danielson or Daniel Bryan, I can't remember what he was in WWE. Those interviews, as far as I'm concerned, they're shoot, and the Miz was incredible.
Oh, definitely. But I will go back to what you alluded to about William Regal. From someone I was lucky to go to an evening with William Regal event, and he just
Wow.
spoke for a couple of hours. We met him before the show, and then we sat there. Batista ended up being turning up and sitting in the crowd, which was great.
That's amazing.
He was in London. Because they'd been filming and promoting the very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and he just randomly started walking up Leicester Square, and I was like, that looks like that. Oh my god, that is Dave Batista, and I went and got a selfie with him as well. But I could listen to hours upon hours upon hours of William Regal telling stories about his career and stuff like that. Like, my god, he's what a legend, an absolute legend. Things are not all great for the great one, as we're finding out now. Things are not good for The Rock, because once Vince McMahon folded the XFL after the 2020 season was cut short due to the COVID-19 pandemic and filed bankruptcy, The Rock, Danny Garcia, and Redbird Capital bought the XFL in 2021. This year was its inaugural season, with the Arlington Renegades defeating DC Defenders in the championship game. They aired the games across ESPN, FX, and other networks. According to Forbes, they were paid $20 million per season by ESPN. The league projects $100 million in revenue next year after losing an estimated $60 million this year. We're extremely well capitalized for the long term, said Garcia in XFL's chair. This is our new WWE, the next massive live property. This is not just an endeavor that's going to fill up a portfolio and one day we flip it and we're going to go out. The Rock said, this is legacy. This is the long game. The Rock's lost money. The Rock's last big movie, Black Adam, bombed. His show, Young Rock, has been cancelled after 3 seasons. The Rock's hit rock bottom.
I mean, I think his standard of rock bottom and mine are 2 different things. But
Probably.
That being said, yeah, no, it's an unfortunate series of circumstances. But they say things happen in threes, and you just named 3. So we'll see what happens. I've got a feeling that it won't last.
It's a shame that Young Rock's been cancelled.
It
lost its way a little bit. I think it got a little bit frustrated with the constant timelines back and forth, as opposed to starting them off young and then having his stages going up that way. I really enjoyed it. I didn't want to see the back of that just yet, but anyway. But I'm going to add in. There's been some breaking news today as well. WWE's exclusive TV rights renewal with Fox and NBCU have expired, which will allow WWE to seek out other platforms for their weekly shows. Both Disney and Amazon are reportedly very interested. If no deal is reached to renew, SmackDown and Raw will leave their respective networks sometime in late 2024. Now, this is something that doesn't go away. We know that with WWE being sold to Endeavor and the merge with UFC, we expected TV deals and whatnot to start changing, and then there's been all this rumours about WWE no longer being on network television. It would be streaming only for even Raw and SmackDown. And what are your thoughts on those changes? Do you think it's just going with the times now to put Raw and SmackDown on streaming, or do you think it's something that which should still be on network television?
I mean, look, from a nostalgia perspective, there was nothing I loved more as a kid than waking up on a Sunday morning on Sky One and watching WWE Experience. But that's nostalgia talking. Streaming's the way forwards, whether you like it or not, unfortunately. And all it says to me is that if it does go onto streaming, I don't have to wait the best part of a month to see Raw and SmackDown on the network. When you're already charging people to, which obviously is a business, they will. That's not my gripe or anything. But when you're charging to put your property on a streaming service, I think you should just focus on that one thing. So many companies do it. You've got Disney, but then you've got things like Paramount Plus, you've got HBO. They're all streaming services as well. I think Monday TV is dying out, to be honest. I mean, you've got Sky subscription services now on PlayStation. I think it's just the way things are going.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they still stream, Raw, SmackDown live, then I
Yeah.
don't mind. You've got to have the option to have it live.
And if they want to charge a little bit more, for that, this is my opinion. If they want to charge a little bit more for the network, but they will stream Raw and SmackDown
Yeah.
live, I'll pay a little bit more, because it's actually, for me at least, quite difficult to keep up to date with weekly storylines. I go through stages where I'm almost exclusively just watching pay-per-views, and I'm thinking, I'm keeping relatively up to date, but I wait for the pay-per-view and go, oh, this is the end of the story. That's really cool. What actually happened leading up to this point? And it's so hard to actually keep up to date with it that I'm not adverse to it.
Yeah, well, and other news as well that's broken out as well is there's an update on how the expansive roster within AEW will be distributed over Dynamite and Collision. With the launch of Collision just around the corner, Khan was asked on Barstool Wrestling if there would be any exclusive talent appearing on the show, to which he had the following to say. I'm going to feature certain talent on certain shows, but I haven't drawn any hard lines or locked us into any kind of split of a roster. I think people are going to be featured on certain shows, but I also think that gives us a great opportunity to showcase certain wrestlers on both Dynamite and Collision at certain times and certain stories that can cross the shows. I think the champions of AEW will be the champions on every show, and frankly, every promotion in the world. We're not shy about the AEW wrestlers going out and taking on the top stars, top competition from other companies. Khan went on to say that with the increase in television time, he will be able to utilise the roster and talent much more effectively, which may finally give which will finally give the talent much more time on TV effectively. So, and obviously room for them to breathe as well. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, Collision, I think they've needed. We all know AEW. One of their biggest problems is just too stacked,
Yeah.
and there's not enough TV time to go around.
I can't keep up with the roster.
No.
You've got your big names, but half the time, I haven't got clues on the roster. Some people pop up every now and again. I think, oh, that's cool. I haven't seen you for a couple of months, and then they're gone again. So it's that, or with the advance of just general life, it's to start cutting people out and not renewing contracts. And I don't want to say that that's the way forwards, because these people have reached their dreams, a lot of them, but I think it's poor product management to just overinflate the roster to the point where you can't really give anyone a fair shot. It feels like you've given them their dream and then you're just sort of taking it away little by little.
Yeah, go to the chat room. Eric Sibby says hello. Welcome to the Square Circle podcast. Hope you're enjoying the show. And as I brought up earlier, your tag team partner, the one and only Razor, is on there. We'll say we are actually due to get Razor on in the very near future on a segment. Going to be doing a bit of an interview with him, which will go out on all of our platforms once that's done. So that's our news. I'm going to go for an ad break, but whilst we're in the ad break, it will be TSC Storytime with myself, with a promo which I still think should have won Vince McMahon an Oscar. You might know it. I've done my best to recreate it as much as I could, but
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's oh dear, yeah, it's story time with me. Oh, check this one out. I know what you're thinking, and you're wrong. You're thinking, I don't have the guts. Ain't that right? That's what you're thinking. You're thinking that I don't have the guts to do what I said I was going to do on Monday night. You're wrong. I don't have any alternative. Tonight, I have to do something that even I will regret. And I'm going to do it I'm going to do it tonight. Face the facts. They're hard. They're cold. The facts are cruel. The facts are ever since the Royal Rumble, Ric Flair has assumed the position of leadership in the WWF. I don't like it any more than you do. But those are the facts. And you've got to understand that under Ric Flair's leadership, the WWF has terminal cancer. Oh yeah. Under Ric Flair's leadership, the WWF is going to slowly die. You know what you have to do, don't you? You can do it. Come on. You can do it. It's a damn shame. But everything on earth has to come to an end. I never thought it'd be like this. I never thought that one day my world would come crashing down around me. And you've got to understand that this is my life. This is what I built. Nobody helped me. I did it all on my own. And now somebody's going to take it away from me. Someone gave cancer to the WWF. Okay. Get a hold of yourself. God. It's just too damn bad. Don't try to talk me out of this. You can't do it. I'm resolved that this is what I have to do. Believe me, if there was any other way, I would do it. I know this is not logical. I know this is not normal. But it's something that has to be done. You see, when you care like I care, if you care that much, you'll do it. It's got to be done. And you're not going to talk me out of it. No, you're not. Ooh. I'm starting to feel it now. Oh yeah. It's starting to feel good. The WWF is going to die. I know that. The WWF has cancer because of Ric Flair. Ric Flair's gonna kill it. And the kind of cancer Flair gave the WWF is the slow, eating kind of cancer. It's not quick. I'm not gonna let Ric Flair kill what I created. Me, the WWF is mine. It's mine. I created it. I'm not gonna let Ric Flair kill what I created. Because I'm gonna kill what I created. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill my creation. I'm gonna inject the WWF with a lethal dose of poison. If anybody's gonna kill my creation, I'm gonna do it. Me and the NWO. Vince McMahon's NWO promo, SmackDown, 24th of January, 2002.
Your audience have no idea how lucky they are. That was fantastic.
You enjoy that?
Absolutely.
Oh, cheers! Appreciate that. Yeah, do you know what the funny thing was? That was at like 4:00 in the morning. That was at 4:00 in the morning because Andy said, "Oh, I need you to do your story time," and I was out the whole day, and I got back, and I was like, "I think I might be able to fit it in," and it was just one take done, and I was like,
fantastic!
It will do. I'm too tired to get up. It will do. I appreciate that. That was that. Like watching that back, I actually watched it back yesterday. The actual, the real one on the network, and even to this day, like that's still one of the greatest promos ever. Even though the NWO thing kind of fell flat and didn't work out, that whole build up, that whole thing was just one of the best things.
Vince McMahon as a character, as in Vince McMahon, he was one of the greatest heels of all time, let's be honest. As that sort of capitalist conglomerate, just villain, I think he always did an amazing job. It doesn't matter if he was feuding with DX, NWO, even during the TV wars. He understood character work.
Yeah.
And I always really appreciate. I think he's one of the underrated people that should be studied because he really knows. If you watch him, he really knows how to be a villain.
Absolutely, and I mean there must be a reason why his and Austin's rivalry is like voted one of the greatest wrestling rivalries of all time. Because he was such the perfect villain, and Austin being the anti-hero, just it just the way them two worked. That was brilliant. Because I mean, I was already watching wrestling for about 15 plus years by the point we'd had Vince like that. So for about 15 years of me watching wrestling, we only knew Vince as the ring announcer, commentator, backstage interviewer. That was before everyone knew that Vince was actually the owner of the company, because everyone thought he was just, this on-screen guy. And to see that transformation into the Mr. McMahon villain was absolutely brilliant. But a lot of people say it's interesting when you watch that promo back, when he talks about killing his creation. So many memes and that I've seen over the last sort of 5 to 10 years where people have actually turned around and said, well, he almost has killed his own creation because of his everything else. So, but no, I appreciate that. I hope you everyone enjoyed watching that.
There's a reason that the only time that we've ever seen God step into a ring was to fight Vince McMahon. Yeah. Let's all remember that. We're not forgetting that anytime soon. Vince wrestled God, and he got jiggy with it.
Oh, that was during this bizarre time, wasn't it? Along with him being ECW champion and all that, with the bandana on and all that. Oh dear,
chef's kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about Forbidden Door, and we're going to look at how it's been booked through a Chat GPT, and we're going to discuss what it selected. But we're going to book our own Forbidden Door featuring WWE versus AEW and Ring of Honor versus New Japan.
Okay.
So we'll be back in a second. Right, it is talking points. So as I said, we asked Chat GPT to book Forbidden Door pay-per-view featuring WWE versus AEW, Ring of Honor versus New Japan. The criteria was book an all-star card, no finishes were documented, all standard match types were included, singles, tag, trios, three-way, and women. No special gimmick matches were considered, and no championships were on the line. So this is what it came up with. So we're going to go with this one first. Asuka versus Toni Storm versus Willow Nightingale.
Okay.
So, what do you reckon? So, what we're going to do is we're going to make this the best card possible. We'll just add any stipulation. Which promotion would be the Forbidden Door winner? What matches in the list would have potential to be match of the year? And also, how interesting is it that Chat GPT has creative matches which we're going to see at Forbidden Door 2. So we've gone to this one. So with these three, how would you book it?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm looking at what is thrown out, and I think it's such a good trio of talent. I think I might pass it to you first, because I'm really stumped on how I'd want to really portray these talents.
See, the one for me that stands out here is Willow Nightingale. I think she's great. Should she be there? That's the thing.
Okay.
That's the thing. See, if she was there, I feel that there should be someone else in that match, but I'm not.
As well as, or in place of?
Either in place of Willow or in addition. Because I'm thinking I would potentially add. I would potentially put someone like Riho in.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I like that. Toni Storm, Asuka, and Riho. My only real thing is, like, with Asuka, I adore her. I think she's incredible.
Yeah.
And I really think that she is, especially in a more westernized wrestling, she really does push what it means to be a Japanese female wrestler. Something to me feels kind of weird about her being in this lineup. Sort of similar to how you said about Willow.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't want her there. It's that something just feels slightly strange about her being there.
Yeah, totally agree. There's something that just feels a bit off, like unbalanced.
Yeah. Toni Storm, on the other hand, I can't. I love the fact that she's there. It's just really strange, but I do just love the fact she's there. She feels right in that lineup.
Okay, so let's say this match went ahead. Who do you think takes the victory on this one? I think Asuka does.
Really? I was going to say Toni.
Okay.
Only because, and I think that might be me being, maybe I'm thinking too much on sort of broader scale of things. I think with how Asuka's been doing in WWE, I just, if I'm not taking that into account, then I can see it. If I'm thinking too outside the box, let me know if I've taken this the wrong way. But with current sort of, let's say, wrestling economy, I don't think it makes sense for her to win.
See, I think because of the version of Asuka we have now, and the fact that she's women's champion, and the fact that she's got this darker persona, more aggressive, more sneaky, and the way she defeated Bianca Belair to win the title, this heel like Asuka, I think, just would be a little too much. I think she would already go into this match with a game plan in mind.
Do you think that she would? Do you think we'd see the missed finish?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw the way she won the title. I mean,
spat on the hand across the face.
Absolutely. I thought that was genius. She missed with the original miss shot, and to spray it onto her fingers, to then put it into Bianca's eyes, to then have that effect, and then to capitalize on that. I just think she would have something. The only way I could see Toni really putting this off 100% would be if Ruby Soho and Saraya got involved.
Which is what I would expect.
Yeah.
I would expect. And I think it might be the way that Toni books his shows, just throwing everyone and anyone into an opportunity. I would, of course, they'd show up. Maybe they would even miss Asuka with the paint.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's. I mean, I think personally Asuka would take it, but I think there's a good shout Toni to win it. But then again, you think about Willow Nightingale. could it be a bit of an upset? That's the thing, you know. I think it could actually play into her hands, but
It could be. I just don't think either of us are convinced it would happen.
well, no,
The way the conversation's gone. But I think she's great. I
yeah,
think with what Chat's given us, yeah, Asuka being so up there and Tony being so up there, especially with their respective histories as well, because Tony isn't a she's not just she went out to Japan, she spent a lot of time there, she trained out there, like she understands Japanese wrestling. So her and Asuka, there could be a lot of familiarity there. I feel like Willow's the odd one out with in that regard.
yeah, yeah. Eric Sibi also is going for Asuka on that as well. Okay, so let's move on to our next match. Now, this is very interesting one. Adam Cole, Damian Priest, Jeff Cobb. Now, for me, this doesn't work. I don't. Adam Cole doesn't fit this match for
No,
me.
and if you ask anyone, they'll say that Adam Cole and Damian Priest are the same height, because Adam Cole 5'5" is always 6'1".
Yeah,
But no, I do agree. I think Damian Priest and Jeff Cobb could put on such a big, strong, hard-hitting match, especially because Damian's got that in him.
yeah.
I think Adam Cole would just get left to the wayside, which makes me think that Adam Cole might actually go over in that match for a massive upset.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate here,
Okay.
and we could do a switch out. So if we could do a trade, I would trade Adam Cole, and it's got to be someone from the same promotion. So it's AEW.
Okay.
I would trade Adam Cole for this match for Wardlow.
Oh, that's interesting, because I was thinking Claudio.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Which they're again. I think we've gone down the same line of two big, beefy men. Wardlow's got. Why not put Hobbs? Eric says that's interesting as a concept.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of Claudio being in there. And when we get round to our dream bookings later, I have got Claudio down in a match, and it doesn't have either of these guys in there. But I'd put him in this mix.
Yeah. Okay. So as it stands, like that, who takes the victory? I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna see everything about me because I'm a fan and a mark for Adam Cole. I'm not gonna go for Cole to win this match, but I don't think he takes the full lever. I'm gonna go for this one. I'm gonna pick Jeff Cobb.
I'm going to agree, and I'm going to take Priest. I'm going to say Priest to take the fall.
Yeah, yeah. I could see Adam Cole hitting Priest with the finisher, Cobb taking down Cole, and then scooping up an already downed Priest and finishing him off for the victory.
Yeah, I like that. I see that, and I'd be happy with that.
Okay, so that's a pretty good one. Now going back to women. Now this match, I think a lot of people probably would have put this one. This is just a one-on-one match.
Okay.
This is AEW versus WWE. Britt Baker versus Becky Lynch.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
I couldn't call this. This one's probably one of the most difficult ones I think I'd have to call. I can't call this.
Oh, it's difficult, isn't it?
It is.
It is difficult. Oh, I'm leaning towards Britt, but I don't want to upset anyone. But I'm leaning towards possibly Britt. My only thing with Becky is that when the two go side by side, I think Becky's incredible, but something about Britt just says to me that she would pull something devious out.
Yeah.
And I think so far in our, I know it's only been 2 matches, but we haven't really had a real cheeky upset.
Okay.
I think possibly Becky Lynch taking control for a lot of the match, and
your tag partner's saying it's going to be Britt 100%.
Oh, I'm not surprised he said Britt. And Eric also thinks Britt.
Eric also agreeing Britt. I think the thing is as well is they're both faces now. There's if either of them were heel, I think this wouldn't be a clean victory.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right. I'll be honest, it sounds really bad. I didn't realize that Britt was face.
Yeah, she's face. Yeah, she's face now. Yeah.
That makes it a lot harder to call then because you couldn't just have that upset.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with Britt to take this. I think she could pull up a win. I don't think it would be by using a finisher. I think it would be something like, I don't know, a roll up or something like that. You know, I think it would be. I don't think it would be a finisher or a submission, and it would be done that way. I think it would be a surprise victory, like one out that come out of nowhere.
And I've got to throw a little twist in the mix. Do you think
Yeah.
people would be happy with that finish in this match? Do you
Yeah.
think do you think that would get a nice big pop, or do you think that would be?
I think it would get. Yeah, I think it would get. I think it would. I think it'd get a pop.
Yeah.
I definitely think it would get a pop.
I think that's a tough one to call.
Okay, now, again, this is we've already seen him mentioned, but this is a match that I do want to see. I would love to see in a Forbidden Door on how both of them are now, right now.
Right.
Will
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's and we were just saying about tough to call.
Oh, that's oh, I love that.
For me, that's just that match alone would sell.
Absolutely.
You could have a bunch of mediocre matches making up the rest of the card. If that was the main event or that's on the card, that sells your ticket straight away.
And that's a match that I could see happening. Oh, that's made me all excited.
It would be, wouldn't it?
I hope Tony's watching.
Okay, so again, this is a really tough one. It's a match I didn't know I needed.
Yeah, me either until just now.
I mean,
how do you call that?
Let us know what you think in the chat room. Who you think takes this one, because this is a tough one to call. Do you know what I think? I think Rollins takes it. I think he would have a trick up his sleeve.
Okay.
But I do think that Will would be the one that stands out the most in this match.
I mean, I think he does in a lot of his matches.
I think he would frustrate the hell out of Rollins.
He wouldn't stay down. I can tell you that much. I think we'll see one of those sort of, like it takes multiple curb stomps. It takes multiple real heavy moves. Multiple hidden blades just to keep them down.
Yeah, I think Ospreay frustrates Rollins. Rollins, although he's a face, I think he's still got that mean streak about him. I think Will frustrates Seth. Seth wins because I think he bends the rule slightly, picks up the win.
You know what might be harder to call than this?
What's that?
Who's going to walk out with the best entrance gear?
That's the thing in itself, isn't it? Really?
No, that's its own competition.
That
would be the next thing.
I'm going to go Rollins. I'm going to say Rollins takes it, but not clean.
Oh, I really can't call it because I want to say Will.
Well, your tag partner says Will. So, are you going to agree with your tag partner? Or are you going to go with Seth?
The HR department sticks together. I'm going Will.
Okay, there we have it.
But I do think it would be an incredible match. I think we're looking at a 40-minute banger.
The next one, this one coming up now. This could be surprise a lot of people. This would be a match I would pay to see, and I think this would be a very painful match. Are you ready?
I think I am. My chest hurts. My chest hurts. But I do have mentally an immediate winner.
So do I.
Okay, should we say? Should we do it in 3?
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Claudio.
Opposite.
Wow. Okay. Because I think Gunther can absolutely dish it out, but I think Claudio can take it.
Oh, of course you can.
Better than Gunther could take Claudio dishing it out.
Oh, that's an interesting.
I think if it came down to nothing, but
there you go.
I'm changing my answer. I think Rollins would win. I think Claudio could. It's so hard because Gunther.
Could you imagine the pop if Claudio managed to do the swing on Gunther?
Oh, That would
take some serious strength that Claudio has.
But he is also so strong. Yeah, like you say, what he has, he is an absolute unit of a man. But then, would Gunther go over with just a few chops and a powerbomb, or are we gonna have he did with Ali?
I think Claudio brings the absolute best out of Gunther. I think we see a side of Gunther we're not too familiar with.
Because I think, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but hey, this is the place for it. I think Gunther is probably, as far as wrestling goes, an incredible wrestler. I think he's managed to create a niche as such a beefy boy that can dish out and take, where it's almost hard to watch. I think Claudio may have him on the upper hand as just as a traditional technical wrestler.
Yeah, well, your tag partner Razor says Gunther. Eric in the chat room says Claudio. So even the chat room split at the minute. So
yeah, he would say that, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So
Razor would say that.
That would be an absolute classic to watch. Now here comes one which doesn't even need an introduction.
Do you know what? I've got that on my my notes for when we do our own draw.
Yeah?
I've got that. I've got Danielson Okada.
Okay. So who takes it?
I'm saying Okada.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to see this match anyway.
Yeah.
And but it was booked by Chat GPT anyway. So, but yes, I agree. I'm going with Okada on that one as well. So we are agreed on that one.
But it will be an amazing match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is going to be a clinic.
We've seen both men dish out and take, and they are students of the ring. They're academics of wrestling, and I think that they would put on a real clinic in what it means to be a classic wrestling performance.
When I look at these two matched up, the one thing that keeps coming back to me, and people may disagree with me, and that's fine, but one thing that keeps popping straight into my mind is Savage Steamboat WrestleMania 3 vibes.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that.
Just nothing but pure wrestling. Just like move for move. Like it's like a well-oiled machine. You know, just something which will... I'm
so glad that we will get to witness it.
Oh, definitely. I still think Forbidden Door might have actually been a better shout for Wembley than All In, you know. But
yeah.
But you know, not complaining at all. Okay, here's an interesting one. I actually wouldn't mind seeing this. Darby Allin versus Finn Balor.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't expecting to see this pop up, but the more I think about it, I kind of get it.
I can see it.
I think Finn takes it, though.
Oh, I think Finn takes it 100%. I think Finn takes it 1,000,000%. Don't get me wrong. I like what Darby Allin does. If I take, you know, I'm trying to keep my personal opinions aside. I think Darby Allin's great for what he does, but I think he is he's a bumper, and I don't think. Don't get me wrong. He can wrestle, sure. Otherwise, he wouldn't be, you know, given these opportunities that he does get given. But I think Finn Balor, especially when you go back to, I mean, he was G1 Summit. He was. Oh no, sorry, it was not G1 Summit. It was. I've lost it. He won. He won. He won. What title? He won a big Japanese title. Was it G1 Climax? No, I've lost it. But I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna say it when I remember it. But when he was younger, before WWE, before NXT, he was a very big in the Japanese scene anyway.
I think.
What was it?
I think Balor's the more well-rounded.
Absolutely.
One. That's what I think. I think he's the more well-rounded star. wrestler, performer. I just think, he's held world championships. But for me, I think, he takes that. I think he takes that.
That was it. Sorry, it was best of the Super Juniors.
Yes.
There we go. Sorry, that was rude. I had to look it up. It was bugging me. He was best of Super Juniors, I think, twice.
Okay.
And for that, I was going to give it to Finn anyway, but I think his credentials over Darby's as well.
Interesting. Okay, so we're going to go for tag team action this time.
Great.
And this one's a triple threat tag team match.
Okay. Brilliant. Big fan.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still think FTR take it.
Oh, I'm an absolute FTR fanboy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I am such a huge fan of Dax. Both of them, but Dax, to me, I really resonate with him. He's a big boy. He's a big hitter. When I wrestle as Handsome Jack, there's a lot of Dax in me. Fists, not flips. Street Profits, I like them. They do a lot of. I think Street Profits and the Hardys would have some great spots, some great movements, some incredible.
The Profits need a heel run now, I think.
Oh yeah, that's great. I can really see Hardys and Street Profits having some big, because they're both incredibly agile, and I can really see FTR coming in with just their heavy hitting, just putting a stop to all of their sort of flippy shenanigans.
I think if it was back when the Hardys were in their prime and they were younger, then I think them and Street Profits could have really, really have. I mean, could you imagine young Bucks versus young prime Hardys?
In this instance, if we take that into account, I would swap the Hardys out.
Yeah.
And I'd swap them out for. It's going to sound very strange because I'm going to go back to NXT Brooklyn Takeover 2. I'll put DIY in there.
Oh, yeah.
And if you had FTR Street, because FTR and DIY put on one of my favourite tag matches of all time. If you throw Street Profits into the mix, I can see a lot of fun.
I'm still hoping for a DIY reunion.
Oh, I would love that so much.
Absolutely. Are you a Punk fan? CM Punk?
I was a massive CM Punk fan, and I really loved where he left off. And then he came to AEW, and it's really cool to see him from a nostalgic perspective. And I do like what he's doing, but I would say I'm not as big a fan as I once was.
Have you seen the latest T-shirt that's been?
I have. I have. And these are the Hitman T-shirts.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. I do want one because I'm
available now.
I'm
available now on the
I'm
AEW
a Brett guy
shop.
myself. I'm a Brett guy as well, so it's kind of my perfect T-shirt.
Brett, I tell you what, I love meeting Brett. Brett's just.
Oh, have you met it? That's incredible.
Yeah, I've got a picture of me between Brett and Sean.
We could do a whole episode on King of the Ring '93.
We might actually have to do that. But yeah, I had the only thing I wish I had in my hands in that photo was the Winged Eagle title belt. I've got Brett to my left, Sean on my right, and I'm just sort of there in the middle of them. I'm like, wow, this is like incredible. Absolutely loved it.
Could you feel the screw job energy?
No, they were really chilled and relaxed and quite friendly. So,
oh, fantastic!
Bit different.
That would. I can't even imagine how incredible that must have felt.
Razor's in agreement with us. FTR takes the victory in this one, as is Eric. So there we go. We've got Eric saying he would switch the Acclaimed and the Hardys. That's not a bad shout.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm not as big of an Acclaimed guy as I think a lot of people are. But no, I could see it. I'd still rather have DIY in there, but I suppose if we're talking about actual current tags, yeah, I could see it.
Well, that's so we're all in agreement this FTR taking that one. Okay, so here's another interesting female match. This is a triple threat again.
Okay.
Saraya versus Mercedes Moné versus Natalia. Straight away, I take Natalia straight out of that match.
We're really on the same wavelength today, and I think I need to start being a bit more contrary so we can have more debate. But Natalia spoke out to me straight away. Saraya, I always really enjoyed her, both WWE and whatnot. But in this mix, even Mercedes Moné, it doesn't really do much for me.
No.
To be honest, Natalia is the only person out of those three that I would actually like to see.
Yes. I like Natalia, but Natalia just doesn't get a lot of success, does she? Like,
No.
considering she's one of the best that there is, technical wise, ability wise.
She's incredible, and she's really being, and I think she's done a really good job of. And I genuinely think she's done a really good job of being Natalia and not Natalia Hart.
Mm,
I think she's done a great job of being her own person, whereas I think Ray's going to have something to say about this. Whereas I think Charlotte Flair lived off of the Flair legacy. Natalia built her own.
yep, I agree. So if we was to take Natalia out, who do we replace her with?
Same brand, WWE.
Yep.
I'd really like to put Bianca in there. I'd really like to put Bianca Belair in there.
I'm gonna this people would probably go, oh no, not again and whatnot. I might put Bayley in there. Bayley as she is now.
Okay.
She's got history with Mercedes Moné being was a best friend.
Yeah.
Soraya's obviously got history with Mercedes Moné anyway, but also we didn't get to see Bayley and Soraya really, did we? Because of Soraya was out with her injury and not being able to wrestle. So
that could be fun. That could be fun, but then it's equally. I mean, given that sort of the way they're at the moment, I'd put Io Sky in there as well.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Io fan. Yeah,
Io fan.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Here's an interesting one Eric's come up with, and this is taking Natalia out, but sticking with AEW. He says take Natalia out and put in Jamie Hayter.
Oh, okay, that could be interesting.
I'm still hoping Wembley All In we get Saraya versus Jamie Hayter.
That would be
the two Brit girls. Yeah,
best. But then I wonder if, and I don't want this to bite me in the butt, but I wonder if Saraya could keep up with Jamie.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be a test.
And that's not me saying that Saraya isn't good enough or anything, but it's just a case of could she, given the circumstances of, she's not even really wrestling that much.
No, she's not. That's probably
she's still injured.
Just being careful, aren't they? Yeah. Your tag partner Razor says Bayley or Liv Morgan. So
I could see Bayley. I don't know if I could personally see Liv Morgan, but I think he's just upset me by choosing Rollins back there. So no, I think either of them could fit in. I think what's difficult is I suppose I could possibly see Alexa in there. Obviously, I know she's not wrestling at the moment, but I could see Alexa in there.
Okay, let's move on to this one. This should be a banger.
Oh,
Switchblade Jay White, my favourite wrestler in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, him and Adam Cole are my two favourite wrestlers in the world.
Oh, I know
in the current era. Zack Sabre Jr.
I feel like I know who you're going to choose, and then to be contrary, I'm going to say Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay. Yes, I will stick with Switchblade, and the reason being is I just think he's just too good. I just he again with being a heel, he doesn't care. I just feel that he would find a way. I think Zack would push him to the absolute limits, but I think Jay would find a way. And plus, bearing in mind, you've got to think about potentially interference, Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson maybe getting involved.
Yeah. I think there's been a couple of times here where I've ignored the fact that there could easily be interferences.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zack. I think he could switch him up like a pretzel. He's so quick. He's so nimble, and he's so thin. He can squeeze out of anything. I think Jay's great, and maybe I'm just being contrary, just so that we finally have a disagreement on something, me and you. But I'll go Zack Sabre Jr. I also think everything I've seen him in as well, he's just been incredible. I've not really seen a Zack Sabre Jr. match where I haven't gone, wow, how did he do that? Or slowed it down to try and study how he's moved. He's like a close-up magician. He can show you how he's doing it and you still can't clock it.
Yeah, I mean, Razor agreeing with me again, saying I'm going with Jay White. Sorry, Jack. So going with that. Eric Sybil says if it was up to him, these matches would be at Wembley.
That would be quite a cool match to have at Wembley.
That would be a great match to have at Wembley.
It would probably fit Wembley better than Forbidden Door.
I'm so excited for the card to be announced, though. I can't even begin to tell you. Okay, so let's go. This one would be like this would be violent. This one here, Samoa Joe versus Solo Sikoa.
Ooh.
All-out Samoan warfare.
I can see Samoa Joe making him tap.
I can't.
Really?
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think they would get booked that way. I don't think we would see Solo Sikoa tapping out.
It's difficult. It's difficult because when you
Solo's been basically he's been built into being this new younger version of Umaga. I think that's kind of what they're going for. I actually think Solo gets the upset there.
I think it could be a really quick match. I think if they're going down the route of building him up like that, what could be more of an upset than Solo finishing Samoa Joe off fairly quickly?
I see your point.
That'd be a great way to upset a lot of people.
Yeah, I just think this wouldn't go down the way a lot of people think it would. I just think Solo could win it.
I think my issue is that I could just never see this booking happening.
No, it never happened.
I know that's not the point of it, but yeah. I think I'm trying to make a justification either way on something that I struggle to even imagine.
So let's say it did happen. Who would you go with for the sake of having to pick someone?
I want to go Samoa. I'm going to go Samoa Joe. I think he's just a little bit more ruthless, a little bit more cunning. Mm-hmm. I get exactly your point with them building Solo to be like a younger Umaga, who was an absolute beast of a human. But I could just see Samoa taking it and dishing it back, and I think I could see him just push him that little bit further, that little bit more violent, and pull out something.
Okay. Next one we're going with is another female match. Charlotte Flair versus Jamie Hayter. I'd like to say Jamie, but I think Charlotte.
I think Charlotte. I'm the exact same. I'd like to see Jamie as well, but I could see Charlotte.
Yeah.
I would like to see, actually, because we mentioned it a couple back, about switching Jamie Hayter in for Natalya. I would now reverse that and switch Natalya in for Jamie Hayter. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Do you know what? If I would switch Jamie Hayter, I think. I'm trying to think who I would put in there instead to face Charlotte. Just trying to think. I mean, if you were to take Jamie Hayter out of that, who would you put in?
I'd like the idea of putting Natalya in.
Okay. Do you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to take for this because I think this would be a really interesting match. And I know a lot of people go, oh, she's not a good wrestler or all this stuff. But I just think it'd be interesting. I think she would learn a lot from this. And Razor's gone with Charlotte on this one. I would replace Jamie Hayter with someone like Jade Cargill.
Oh.
Charlotte still wins, but I think Jade learns a lot from that match.
I think that could be very interesting.
Either that, or I'd put in Taya Valkyrie.
Oh, I think I prefer that.
Yeah.
No, I like still Charlotte going over though.
Yeah, Charlotte's still going over. Yeah. That result doesn't change things. Okay, here comes a match which I probably would like to have seen this match about 5 years or so ago, but we'll go with it. Kenny Omega versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
I like it. I'm going Omega. but I like it in principle. I see what you. Yeah, I would have liked this probably about 5 years ago. I think they're too. It's difficult because I like Shinsuke.
So do I. Problem with Shinsuke is he's been kind of lost for
Yeah,
so long now. I just think I don't know if we're talking about in their prime, I'd love to see it.
yeah. No, I'd agree with that. I just don't think this is. I don't want to say it wouldn't be a good. I don't think. I think this is the match where I would go and grab another beer and
Okay.
check my phone. Because as much I don't think Shinsuke could bring out. I think Kenny could bring out the best in Shinsuke. I don't think Shinsuke could bring out the best in Kenny. And that's no disrespect to Shinsuke because he
No,
is a vet.
I get what you're saying. I think it's because of where he's been at for so long.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
Shinsuke's an absolute vet. I think he's incredible. But I think he's been so toned down that from, like you say, what I've seen of him, I don't think it would be. You want to bring out the best of both people in every match,
Oh
don't
yeah.
you? And I
Yeah.
don't think Shinsuke would be bringing anything out of Kelly the way that
All
Ospreay
right.
has.
All
Or
right. Well, let's say this is prime Shinsuke Nakamura versus prime Kenny Omega. Who takes it?
I'm still sticking with Omega,
Yeah.
but it would be a much more interesting match.
Same. Well, Shinsuke looks like they're starting to push him again. They're putting the spotlight back on him as well.
I hope so.
Which is good. He's looking good. Like they're giving him more time on TV now. They seem to be doing something with him, so that's pretty good. Razor says actually he would like to see Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Now that's not bad.
I would love to see that.
I'm going to go Kenny Omega on that one as well. Going on to the next one, tag team action. I think this one's going to come as no surprise to people that they've been paired. It's the Young Bucks versus the Usos.
Yeah. Just super kick party.
Yeah, super kick party. But for me, there's only one team that takes this.
I feel like we're going to say the opposites again.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Young
Usos.
Bucks. Yeah, I knew it. And I think that's coming from the fact that from my opinion, I feel like the Usos are just a little bit starting to fracture. I don't think they've got quite I don't think they're quite in line with each other as the Young Bucks are.
I think storyline purposes with what's going on, yes, but what's gone on for the past year or two, the Usos have been at their absolute best, and they have been touted as probably the best tag team in the world. So I'm actually I think with the Prime Usos, the ones that we've had up until the last few months, I think they beat the Bucks.
I could definitely see it. I like the Usos. Which is really interesting. Anyone knows me knows that, and this is really contrary. I'm not a big fan of Roman Reigns.
No,
I'm not a big fan of him at all. I don't enjoy what he does, and I think the Usos would like getting bogged down by him personally. I think if we're going prime Usos, I can absolutely see it. I think the Young Bucks. I think the Usos have the capability to actually put on a hard-hitting performance. I don't want to take anything away from them, but I do feel like the Young Bucks, if it's not just one 20-minute sequence, it wouldn't be. I don't see it as being a wrestling match. I see it as being. I don't like saying it, but I think it'd be a bit of a spot fest.
Okay, interesting.
I'd change to the Usos. No, you've convinced me. You've convinced me. I'm changing over. I'm changing sides.
Okay. Eric Siri's gone for Young Bucks on that one.
But Eric, they can't have an exploding boot.
No.
So.
Let's not even go there with that one. Next one we're going to go out with. Here we go. Hangman Adam Page versus LA Knight.
Oh. I really love LA Knight. And he is my pick. He's my pick for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, he's my pick for Money in the Bank.
He's my pick. I think he deserves it. I want him to win Money in the Bank. Hangman Adam Page. A while ago, I'd have been more on board with it. No, I'm going to go LA Knight. I really like LA Knight. I like what he does.
I'm going LA Knight.
Yeah, I just really like what he does. I liked Hangman a lot more a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't think. I think LA Knight is just so up there.
Okay. We've got M Boys said London adores Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
He's
Okay,
my pick for Money in the Bank. I just
how
don't love
about
it.
how about this one? MJF versus the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Oh, I'm such an MJF fanboy.
Brilliant.
But AJ's incredible.
I had MJF say something about me on social media once.
Oh.
He was doing this thing on Facebook where people were putting in the comments, people dressed like how they're like clothes that they're wearing.
Oh right.
And so I commented with mine, and he turned around and he said, Joseph Parks. He went, you still with WWE? It's a photo of me in the suit, like waistcoat and that. Yeah, he went, Joseph Parks, you still with WWE?
I love him.
Oh,
I love him so much.
I mean, people pay hundreds of dollars to get a cameo just to be insulted by him.
Yeah, like, yeah, absolutely.
It's the best thing. I tell you, I'm hoping I get the opportunity to meet him, because I honestly I need to meet him and have him, I don't know, throw something on mine or whatever.
Yeah, I think I would pay a good amount of money for him to say something horrible about me.
It's great, isn't it? Absolutely
it's
brilliant.
So,
who do you think takes this one? For me,
AJ's incredible.
I can't.
But it's so hard to call.
AJ's getting a bit stale. I've noticed in WWE he's getting a bit stale a little bit. You know, we're not seeing anything different from him.
I wasn't as big a fan of his match with Rollins as I think a lot of people are. I absolutely see your point about him being a bit stale. I think if we went back to we're going back, but if we went to TNA AJ,
if it was TNA AJ or New Japan AJ versus current MJF, AJ Styles wins it.
Absolutely.
We're going by how they are now. I go MJF.
I'm going to agree, MJF.
Yeah,
and it's a hard pick because I love it. I love both of them. I think AJ's amazing. I love MJF, but I'm going to have to pick MJ.
Yeah. M-Boy has in the chat room has said MJF has improved greatly, but AJ's top 10, I think. So he's going AJ Styles for his pick. Eric Sibby in the chat room is also saying AJ will beat him silly. You never know. You never know. The next match, here we go. How about this one? This is a match which everyone's hoping will happen at Forbidden Door. CM Punk versus Kenta, both masters of the GTS.
Yeah, and I think Kenta might have something to say about it. Are we going Punk now and Kenta now?
Let's go both in their prime, because obviously it looks like we might get Punk now versus Kenta at Forbidden Door. I'd like to think Punk at his best versus Kenta at his best. I think even with the difference now, I still think Punk takes it. I don't think Punk will accept losing that match.
No, I would agree, but I think this is where we see a second appearance from FTR. But that aside, it's hard. Kenta's just so hard hitting.
Yeah.
So he's got that real brutal, strong style that I love so much.
Yeah.
Who gets the GTS on first? Because that would have to be the thing.
I think they both take the GTS, but I think there'll be a couple of GTS hits if they both kick out of each other's, respectively.
I think it'll go one or two, or it'll be tease. Finally, someone hits it, and then that's one of the two. It's hard to call because I think there's a little part of me that's thinking of how much I loved Prime Punk.
Yeah, but Razor's going Kenta.
Yeah, I loved Prime Punk, I really did, but I'd probably go Kenta. I think Kenta's just so strong, so heavy hitting. I don't know if Punk could keep up with him even in his prime. And I've seen Punk keep up with Mysterio and Guerrero in a match when they were all on the Indies and that triple threat. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It was mad.
M-Boy's gone and said, I absolutely hate CM Punk with a burning passion. Well, we just want to know who's going to win the match here. But M-Boy did say Kenta would smoke Punk in 5 minutes. I don't think that would be the case. But I'm going to go Punk on the basis I don't think Punk would accept losing that match.
Okay.
But I think Kenta would beat 7 bells of crap out of him. But I think Punk takes it.
Yeah. With that, I mean, just like he did in his MMA career. No, I love Prime Punk, but I think Kenta.
Here's one which we've seen this match before in WWE, but it's obviously things have changed since those days. It's former Shield members Roman Reigns versus Jon Moxley.
And it's just normal, no stipulation singles.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I was thinking Reigns. Reigns has just gone to a different level.
And I will preface that again by saying I love Jon Moxley.
Yeah,
I love him to bits. I really do. And I would, you could probably put anybody else up there, and I would really try and side with Jon Moxley. But Roman will take it. He just will.
Yeah, Moxley in terms of singles competitions, and that's been a bit up hit and miss recently as well. But yeah, I think Reigns takes that. M-Boy also thinks Roman Reigns.
And if you remember, about 10 minutes ago, I said how much I'd hate Roman Reigns, but I'd still give it to him.
Yeah. Eric Sibby, I know he's misspelt Kenta, but he says he hopes Kenta shows up at Collision and joins Bullet Club Gold. That could happen.
I like
we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we could see that might happen. Here's one for you. Tag team action, Jericho Appreciation Society, consisting of Chris Jericho, the Ocho, and Sammy Guevara, taking on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
For me, it's easy.
Owens and Zayn.
Absolutely. Any day of the week. I'm sure Sammy will get his 450 in there or whatever, just double flippy flips. Jericho, he does nothing for me anymore.
He does for me because he's enhancing younger talent. He's giving them matches to showcase. He's putting them over. But in this match, there's no one to put over.
In that regard, I think he does great things for younger talent. But I think every time I see him throw a discus clothesline, I just think, oh. Every time I sort of, for me, it's Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I think they could both take either of them in singles. So as a tag, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, Eric Sibby's going KO and Sammy, and M-Boy saying both incredible, but would also give it to KO Sammy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that one. Here we go. American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes versus Hiromu Takahashi.
I would love to see that.
I don't know who takes this. I mean, everything about me says Cody Rhodes because it's Cody Rhodes, but I don't know.
Takahashi is so incredible.
Do you know what? I'm going to give it Takahashi, and I think Cody Rhodes would accept the defeat gracefully.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think Cody Rhodes would probably at this point end up coming out in a wheelchair with 2 broken legs, and that would be his reason. No, but I think the same thing. I think there'd be a real nice handshake at the end of it and respect for each other.
Yeah.
They're both phenomenal talents. They're both very they seem very humble in what they do. But yeah, I'd agree. Takahashi,
yeah, okay. I think we're in agreement in there. Eric Sybil has gone with Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, in that one. And we're going to move on to, I believe, if I'm correct, that's all of them. Okay, so let's play devil's advocate and let's book our way. Let's book it. Let's book 5 matches each. Okay. Right. So we're going to start off. We'll have a tag match, and I'm going to go. Do you know? I'm going to go a bit different. I'm going to go Street Profits versus the Acclaimed.
Oh, okay.
For my pick for male tag team match, what would you go with? AEW versus WWE.
AEW versus WWE. Okay. Yeah. I would like to see current tag. Yeah. I'd really like to see FTR versus KO and Zayn. I think
Yeah.
that'd be a lot of fun. I think that'd be
Okay.
beefy. I think they're both
Okay.
incredible tags.
Yeah, there'll be 10 matches on the card, so we're mirroring each other. So hopefully we'll have different. So that's two
Okay.
men's tag team matches laid out. Two, I think, would be stellar tag team matches on that. Okay, let's go with two singles women's matches.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for WWE. I'm gonna go. Do you know what? I'm gonna go Io Sky. I'm gonna do a thing because there's choice of two names.
You already taken one of mine. I was thinking EO straight away.
Okay. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go Air Sky versus Riho.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go Riho. Yeah.
Oh.
You can. It doesn't have to be a single women's. You can do triple threat or fatal four way if you want to.
I would like to see. Does it have to be the same companies that you've thrown out, or can they just be whatever?
As long as it's WWE, AEW, New Japan.
Yeah. I would like to see Dakota Kai, Jamie Hayter.
Singles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think they're both really talented.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I want to triple threat, throw Tony Storm in the mix.
Okay. That's an interesting one.
Bit of fun.
Yeah.
I think Dakota's fantastic. I think you've got EO on there. We'll find Bailey somewhere. Sure, why not? I think that could be an interesting match.
Okay.
I don't know if it'd be 5-star, but I think it'd be a nice match to just put in.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna go. This is. I mean, some people might not like this match, but I'm just gonna throw it in there as a muscle man match.
Okay.
Bobby Lashley versus Wardlow.
Oh. I like it. I'm not a massive Bobby Lashley guy.
No, I'm not. I just.
I would like to see, and this isn't my choice, but I'd really like to see. I don't think anyone's going to like what I'm about to say. I'd love to see Wardlow Lesnar. I would love to see that. I think it'd be the most.
I don't
ludicrous.
think we need. I don't think we need Lesnar. That's the thing.
I'm not putting him in a match. I just think that'd be the most ludicrous thing.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I think Seth Rollins versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I like it. You know, Chat GPT said it, and I can't agree. That's going to be the match. Oh no, that said Ospreay, didn't it? Ah,
yeah, I said Ospreay.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, no, I think it'd be the same result. I think it would still be the match.
Okay.
I'm going to throw out something a little bit more aggressive.
Okay.
I'm going to put John Moxley in a match against Shibata.
Ooh, nice.
And I think they would beat 10 tons out of each other.
Okay.
Especially with Shibata being the ROH pure champion. I think Shibata would take it. But I think that would be a hell of a match. Just aggressive.
Okay. I'm going to go Tatsu Naito versus LA Knight.
I love it. Oh, that is so good. I love LA Knight. Just any excuse at the minute. How many matches have we just thrown out there?
Oh, well, I'm going to do one more after this.
Okay. I've got my little cheat sheets here from what I was thinking about earlier.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to decide. I'm going to throw out a tag. Is that okay? Yeah. I want to throw out. This is going to be weird. I think I'd like to throw out the Young Bucks portion of the Elite against the Okan portion of United Empire.
Ooh,
because I've already thrown out FTR. Yeah. So I can't use them again. So I'm going to throw the Young Bucks portion of the Elite, especially because on my list as well, I won't use it because it's actually Omega Ospreay was on my list. So I thought with Ospreay, United Empire, Omega, and the Elite, I thought it would be a nice thing to mix up. So I'm going Okan and Cobb versus the Young Bucks.
Nice. That's a bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit
Okay,
weird. But...
my last one is a fatal 4-way.
Okay.
It's Adam Cole.
Yep.
Versus Finn Balor.
Okay.
Versus AJ Styles.
Yep.
Versus Switchblade Jay White. The Bullet Club Collective.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
I might try to throw a fatal 4-way out there, but I need to make it make sense. Don't know if I can, because I've got 2 other matches on here that were singles that I was thinking about. But I'll go throw them into the mix. We'll see what happens. They were originally, yeah. It will be Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki versus MJF versus Tanahashi.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were originally 2 singles, but I'm just throwing them together. We'll see what happens. I think that could be. I think Tanahashi, Suzuki, and Danielson. I think they can absolutely just go at each other.
Yeah.
I think MJF could stand his ground in the cocky, way that he does. And no, in AEW he'll probably go over, but that's neither here nor there. But I'd throw those as my fatal 4-way finish.
I'm just going to throw this one in as a worthy mention, and we'll move on. Okay. Bronson Reed.
Okay.
Versus Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that would be really cool.
2 really big, powerful men.
Just really beefy.
I'd love to see. Yes.
You can throw Gunther in there as well.
No. see, Gunther can just take anyone. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. So that's it for Talking Point. That's
a lot of fun.
Some really interesting ones that have come up on there. Really am. But before we get to Rewind, it's a little game we like to play here on the Square Circle called either Who Am I or When Am I? And for you, it's When Am I? So it will be a pay-per-view.
Okay.
5 questions starting from the hardest to the easiest.
Right.
You need to try and get it before you get to the easiest questions.
Okay.
Okay, so this pay-per-view took place on October 3rd, 2004 at the Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, in front of an attendance of 10,000 people.
Wow. Is
it
like if I say
a WWE event?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it one of those if I say something, that's my answer? There's no yes or no's.
Well, no, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm just trying to think about 2003.
2004.
2004.
Yeah.
I'm not committing for some reason. Immediately, a No Mercy comes into my head, but I don't even.
You're going to go No Mercy?
I don't want to commit to it. No, I'm not. Next one.
Are you sure? You sure?
Oh, it's my gut. It's the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah, I'll stick with No Mercy.
You are actually correct. You're the first person to get it on that. Yes. The next question would have been on this match. Rene Dupree and Kenzo Suzuki defeated Rob Van Dam and Rey Mysterio to retain the WWE Tag Team Championships.
Right.
Question number 3 would have been John Cena defeated Booker T to win the United States Championship match. It was the final match of a best-of-5 series. Number 4 would have been the main event was JBL defeat The Undertaker in the last Ride match to retain the WWE Championship. And the last question would have been, it's also the name of the most popular N64 wrestling video game all the time, which really no mercy. Well done, you're the first person to get it after literally first question. So
fantastic, thank you very much.
Well done. That was really impressive. Really impressive.
Do I get a plaque or something, or a belt?
Not quite, but
it's right.
Well, that was a very quick When Am I for this week. Well done. We'll be back after this because it's going to be time for TSC Rewind. See you in a sec. I love the new music we've got on here. It's fantastic. Right, Jess, TSC Rewind, where we look back to the nearest dates for key moments in professional wrestling history. We're going to go back to June 13th in 1993, when WWE presented the very first ever inaugural King of the Ring pay-per-view from the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio. The centerpiece of the show was an 8-man tournament to crown the King of the Ring after 3 classic matches against Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, and Bam Bam Bigelow. Bret Hitman Hart was declared the winner. His crowning ceremony was ruined by Jerry the King Lawler, who attacked Bret Hart and began an on-off rivalry that lasted for a number of years. The other major happening on the show was saw Yokozuna defeating Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship in what would be Hogan's last televised match in the company until he returned as part of the NWO in 2002 at No Way Out 2002. And if we go into 2005, WWE presented the iconic very first ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view from the infamous Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. The show marked the revival of the ECW brand for the first time since the company fell into bankruptcy in 2001. The show was produced as a faithful ECW show, down to the size of the ring, graphics, camera angles, and even the usage of Enter Sandman by Metallica as the entrance music for the Sandman's iconic entrance. The show was a huge critical success and eventually led to the revival of the brand 12 months later as a weekly show. In the main event of this show, the Dudley Boys, in their last match before leaving WWE, donned the tie-dye gear one final time to defeat the team of Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman. And then on June 15th, 2009, oh boy, Vince McMahon announced that he sold Monday Night Raw to Donald Trump because McMahon hadn't made it clear it was just a storyline. WWE stock actually fell from $13.3 million a share down to $12.60 within a day of the announcement, and would carry on falling for the rest of the week until the company made it clear Trump actually hadn't bought the show. On that week's Raw, Randy Orton defeated John Cena, The Big Show, and Triple H in a fatal 4-way match to win the then vacant WWE Championship. I mean, less said about that whole Trump involvement, the better, I think. Yeah, just for me, no.
Battle of the Billionaires.
Yeah, battle of the billionaires. Just not for me. Not for me. Anyway, we are going to send you over to Andy Evans, my co-host, and who's going to tell you a little bit more about Impact's Against All Odds with TSC Newsline Extra. We'll be back after that.
All right, welcome to Newsline Extra. Andy here, giving you some of the additional news that we haven't got to so far in the show. And let's kick it off with this one, because it's been announced by NBC that Young Rock is being cancelled after 3 seasons. The network announced the cancellation last week. Dwayne Johnson, as of now, hasn't commented on the end of the show as of this presentation. Young Rock focused on different chapters in Rock's life. The 3rd season premiered in November 2022 and ended its 13-episode run this past February. Season 3 of the show averaged 1.4 million viewers and a 0.25 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. The Rock starred on the show alongside Joseph Lee Anderson, Stacey Leilua, Anna Tuasia, Adrian Groks, Bradley Constant, Yuli Latukafu, Vasitu Amosa, John Twee, and Matthew Willig. It was created by Nick Khan's sister, Nanachika Khan, Jeff Chiang, and was inspired by Rock's life. Dwayne Johnson also served as exec producer, along with former head writer Brian Gerwitz, Danny Garcia, Jennifer Carreras, Harim Garcia, and many others. Matt Hardy has been back in the news because Matt said on his Extreme Life podcast, he revealed that he and his brother Jeff were going to become the AEW World Tag Team Champions prior to Jeff getting a DUI. It would have been a reign that instead went to the Young Bucks. Matt says the original plan was to do a longer feud with the Bucks, which would have potentially included a cinematic showdown known as Too Sweet or Delete. Now, despite the original plans of not working out, Hardy does think that a cinematic showdown against the Bucks would be fun, and even claims it has the potential to be the best cinematic matchup ever. He said on the podcast, "Yeah, we still do want to do a cinematic match. We're still fans of it. I think it could go down as one of the greatest matches ever, because I feel like whenever I started talking with Matt and Nick and we start throwing around ideas and everybody's being creative, it's a great process. And I think it would be one of the more entertaining cinematic matches ever had between two very established teams." Now, in major news, congratulations to Jessie Mackay from the Iconics or the Inspiration, because she is joining motherhood. Former WWE and Impact star Jessica Mackay, formerly known as Billie Kay, is pregnant with her first child. Mackay took to Instagram to announce that she and her partner are expecting in December of 2023. "I'm waiting for your love," she wrote as she posted the caption. Now, Mackay's longtime tag team partner Cassie Lee, otherwise known as Peyton Royce, welcomed her first child with husband Sean Spears back in January. Mackay and Lee have not wrestled since losing to the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions Madison Rayne and Niall Dashwood at Impact's Rebellion on April the 23rd of last year. Lee recently announced her return to the ring, but she will have to fly solo until Mackay gives birth later this year. Now, Mackay joins the following wrestling performers who have also made pregnancy announcements: Tay Mello and Sammy Guevara, Alexa Bliss and Ryan Cabrera, Kelly Kelly and her husband Joe, and Corey Graves and Carmella recently announced the gender of their baby. So from all of us, congratulations. Great news to hear that another baby is joining the wrestling family. And that's it for News Extra this week. I'll be back next week, but until then, see you soon. Welcome to the Event Center, looking back at this past weekend's Against All Odds. Presented by Impact Wrestling and available on Impact Plus, Against All Odds returned to its native Canada, but also set up what is going to be happening next month at Slammiversary. So let's go through the results. The Knockouts World Tag Team Champion Keelan King, accompanied to the ring by Taylor Wilde, defeated Nevaeh. The Digital Media Championship was on the line as Joe Hendry retained against Dirty Dango. Frankie Kazarian went over Eddie Edwards. It was Impact World Tag Team Championship on the line next as the Tag Team Champions ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, defeated the Good Hands, Jason Hotch and John Schuyler, who were accompanied by Brian Myers. Now, unusually, we saw knockouts action, but in a dog collar match, as Masha Slamovich went over Killer Kelly. We had the X Division Championship on the line next, and we had a title change because Trey Miguel lost the title to one half of the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin. Coming up next was a unique match. It was called the 8-for-1 to determine the number one contender to the Impact World Championship at Slammiversary. In the first part of the match, Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath and Nick Aldis defeated Moose, Mike Bailey, Rich Swann and PCO. The match would then continue as Nick Aldis then defeated Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham and Heath to become the number one contender for the Impact World Championship against whomever that may be coming out of Against All Odds at Slammiversary in July. The action continued with knockouts action as Knockouts World Champion Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity defeated Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans. Ove, Sami Callihan, Jake Christ and Madman Fulton defeated The Design. That was Dina, Angels and Con, and that was in an Ohio street fight. And then we had the main event for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship as defending champion Steve Macklin went up against veteran Alex Shelley for the title. And this was the result. The brand new Impact World Heavyweight Champion, the other half of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, making his first win, his first run with the Impact World Championship. And we now know that at Slammiversary in July, it will be Nick Aldis facing off against Alex Shelley for the Impact World Heavyweight title. That's it for me. I'll be back next week. See you later.
Well, thank you, Andy, for your Newsline Extra and for the Against All Odds results there. It's been able to have him, be great to be able to have him part of the show, even though he's away with work commitments this evening. So, so that wraps it up. We were going to do top picks, but we're not going to do top picks this week. Ryan, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I really, really had a great time being here.
Hopefully, we'll be able to get you on to fill in future if you're available.
Absolutely.
It's been great having you on here. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Everyone else, again, it's a free event as far as I'm aware. It's in Rochester, just off the High Street in Kent. Check out United Kingdom Pro Wrestling UKPW social media for all the information on those. And don't forget, we've also got the 2 UKPW shows coming up in early July, on the 1st and 2nd of July at the historic Dockyard in Chatham, Kent. If you remember on our show last time when we shared out all the information there, again, go to United Kingdom Pro Wrestling UKPW's socials to get all the information on how you can get tickets to all the upcoming shows. And look forward to seeing Razor and Gentleman Handsome Jack and that other guy on Saturday, seeing what we're going to get up to. We will let you guys know. But yeah, until next week, Andy should be back. I'll be here. We'll be back with top picks and a lot more here on the Square Circle Wrestling Podcast. Until next week, we will see you soon. Take care.